Hi, this is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing. Today I'm in San Jose at the eMetrics Web Optimization Summit here with Darrell Benatar, who's an expert in usability testing. And you have a tool we're going to talk about in a few minutes at usertesting.com, which is priced right for small to medium businesses. We're going to talk about that. But I want to start by just the whole area of user testing for a website. What is user testing and why do you do it?
Well, user testing is a way to observe people, your target customer, using your website and discovering where people are having problems or getting confused. So currently, all of the major websites do usability testing. The big ones have their own laboratories. And what they do is they bring in people and sit them down in front of a computer, and they have them try and accomplish common tasks on that website. Mm-hmm. Usually there's a professional sitting there with them, and they record the session, and they study that recording, and from it they learn very valuable information about where people are having troubles on the website mm-hmm. or not understanding the message on the website, mm-hmm. and they make changes based on that. Mm-hmm. It's a very complementary tool to their analytics that they do, and the big websites spend a huge amount of money on it because they have big returns on investment from it.
Okay, so you might learn, for instance, that even though you know how to navigate your site, someone else can't figure it out.
Right. It's very common that you get very close to a design that you have worked on or you've seen a lot, and you no longer realize that somebody else who's never seen it before might not understand something or get confused.
You get too close to it.
Exactly.
You find people fumbling around, and then you have to figure why can't they find it, and then you start saying, oh, it's not really placed where they can find it, or
right.
or maybe I need to do this redundant page. So all those kinds of things. I remember sitting down with a guy and my one-person user testing thing, and that worked well. But you've got a way now of a tool that allows you to put this on the internet and do it remotely for a great price. Now this is usertesting.com,
right?
And your price point per user that tests your site is
$29.
$29
right.
for about 20 minutes of testing. So let's talk about that now.
Yeah.
I'm a small business. I've got a site that I want to improve.
Right.
So I'm going to try out your system.
Right.
So what kind of information do you need from me in order to, say, start a test?
Right.
Let's say I have an e-commerce site selling shoes.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've tried to keep it really simple. It takes about 2 minutes to set up. You fill out a one-page form, and there's 3 main pieces of information that you provide us with. The URL of the website that you are interested in watching someone use.
So this isn't necessarily a landing page. This is perhaps the home page?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, commonly it's the home page, but it could be a landing
page.
Right. It's the starting point for the test.
Okay.
The second thing is you provide us with a list of tasks that you would like to see someone try and accomplish on the site.
For example?
Well, in that case, trying to find shoes that are appropriate for that person and to go through the buying process.
So buy a pair of size 9D sandals.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah.
You give them a specific task.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be you're going on a trip to the Caribbean and you need some sandals for the trip. Use the site to try and find sandals that you think would be good for you and go through the purchasing process.
Okay. Now you might give them 2 or 3 tasks.
Mm-hmm.
What other kinds of tasks might be appropriate?
Sometimes it's finding information.
Okay.
A lot of sites have certain functionality on them, like they might have a cost calculator. So in that case, someone might use it to calculate what their shipping cost is going to be.
Okay.
So
that's the second piece of information. What's
right.
the third piece of information?
The third thing is what are the demographics of the target user for your site? And you specify their income, their gender, their age, and their experience with computers. And you can also put kind of a wild card in there, like ideally this is someone who's going to be taking a trip to the Caribbean soon.
Okay. Now why do you give this demographic information?
Well, no matter what, it's helpful to see someone with fresh eyes try your site. But the information has even more credibility if that person's representative of the users of your site. So.
Now you have a team, not a team I guess, kind of a network, a panel
right.
of people that do user testing. That's how they earn money.
Yeah,
I guess.
Right, but I really I want to clarify that
Okay.
these aren't people who earn a living doing user testing.
Okay.
We have a panel of thousands of people signed up, and the typical person who does this maybe does 1 to 3 of these in a week.
Okay.
So it's just a thing you can do on the side at home in the evening for fun.
Okay, so they're not pros, but
Right.
they do have some experience looking at sites.
Right. Well, we've pre-screened these people, and there are people that have shown that they can do 3 things. They can follow instructions, they can stay on task,
Okay.
and most importantly, they're able to verbalize their thoughts as they use the site. Not just read what's on the site, but actually tell you why they're clicking on the things they're clicking on, or what their impression is of something.
So you're taking care of one of the problems of user testing is, who can I get to test this?
Right.
Besides my grandmother.
Right, someone who's unbiased, too.
Yeah, and fits the demographic of people who I think are my best customers.
Right. And there's a third thing, which is, I mean, one of the ways we've been able to get the cost so low is that normally in usability testing you have a moderator who prompts the person to keep speaking and make sure that they stay on task. So we've actually, by finding people that can do that without somebody helping them, have cut that cost down. And the other thing is that usability experts often say that in the typical experience is they bring in 5 kind of random people to do testing, and one of the 5 provides 80% of the helpful comments. There's just some people that are more observant, more likely to stumble over things or make useful comments, and we're looking for that when we pre-screen people. So there's a much higher chance with our testers that you're going to get useful information than there would be with just an average group.
That sounds good. So
let me clarify what that means, though.
Okay, go ahead.
After you provided this information, the URL, the task, the demographics, emails go out to the panelists, and whoever's available, grabs it right away. And in about an hour, their recording has been uploaded, processed, and an email goes out to the client.
this is fast.
Yeah.
So what I get for this, for my 29 bucks, is I get they're on my site for about 20 minutes looking around, trying to accomplish the tasks I've given them.
Right, you're watching a video of their screen and you're hearing them speak out loud as they use the site.
So they're looking at it, and while they're looking at it, I'm seeing a video of them, their mouse kind of moving around and doing things, while they're saying, well, I'm trying to find such and such. And they're explaining what they're doing, what's going through their mind, and the problems they may be encountering.
Yeah.
So that you can watch this, and this gets uploaded, and then I, as your client, I can look at this for each one of those testers.
That's right. Yeah, and there's a side benefit to this, which is unlike traditional usability testing where a person's sitting in a laboratory at a computer that's been all set up for them, you're watching the real environment of your users. So you'll see their funky toolbars, and their IM might pop up during the session, and as a result of it, oftentimes website owners will see problems that people are having with a particular browser operating system combination, or a JavaScript error that they didn't realize people were getting.
Now there's they fill out a questionnaire at the end. What kinds of things are on the questionnaire?
They're asked some basic questions. What were some of the, were there any problems or things that you found confusing when you were on the site? What things do you think could be improved about the site? What were some of the things you really liked about the site? And then just kind of an open-ended, is there anything you would like to communicate to the owner of this site?
So below this video, there's going to be a link to a demo so people can see what this looks like.
Yeah.
And if it isn't there, you can go to usertesting.com. So tell me about your company and what you do. I guess we've been talking about that, but...
yeah, well, we've been around for about a year, and we're making a lot of progress. People are really liking what we're doing, and I think it's a little bit disrupting to the world, to the usability community, because traditionally the cost of doing a test at a medium-sized company runs around $500 per tester, because you have to pay a recruiter $100, and then the person who comes in gets $100, and the moderator gets $100. You've got to rent a lab for $100. It all adds up.
Yeah. So I could do 5 people for 120 bucks.
Right.
And
closer to 150.
150 bucks, and it brings the price down to something I can afford.
Right.
Thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.